Welcome back to Kylan's HOH. Wait, is it still last week? Kylan's been HOH 2 weeks in a row? This is Kylan's third HOH? Yes, because he is running Sarah Beth's HOH so far, to say the least. We can hate the player, but I don't know if I could hate his game right now because he is in control of Sarah Beth, which is a big point. Although I will say, jury might hate his game, and he could have quite the bitter jury on his hands, especially if somehow two cookout members end up on the block this week. I think Kylan gets big blame for that. But in the wee hours of the morning after I recorded yesterday's video, Kylan wore down Sarah Beth, talking to her in his usual manner for a very long time, changing her mind from Alyssa and Xavier or Hannah and DF. And Kylan got her to just renom the people he nominated, Claire and Big D. And frankly, I just have to I have to laugh once again at all these Big Brother fans that were just overrating Sarah Beth coming into this season. It's the delusion for me. And it's the delusion of the usual suspects in the Big Brother fandom. Just finding anything they can to overrate a white player's game. It happens a lot, and Sarah Beth was one of those players. Claire, another one. But yes, those were the nominations. I still think Kylan's social game is in big danger going to the end of this game and getting a win. But he has proved to be a competent player, a villain for sure. But it's working right now, although I still want to see who is legit a bigger target if Kylan and Sarah Beth are on the block together in the coming weeks. But we had the ridiculous twist today, the roulette wheel. Someone getting nominated by a random fucking will. While Alyssa won that, and Alyssa used the roulette wheel only to have her number one, Xavier, nominated. Alyssa saved Derek F, but Xavier goes up in his place. So it is Xavier and Claire on the block. It's really hard for me to see Xavier going home against anyone on the block, although it would be a huge move for everybody in the game to take out Xavier, but Xavier has done such a great job of making personal connections, and of course he has the cookout. So I mean, he's certainly ain't going to go home against Claire, I don't think. But what Kylan really did in the wee hours of the morning, wearing down Sarah Beth, is convince her to try and backdoor Derek X if she can. And Sarah Beth, with no mind of her own, seems to be pointing in that direction. So veto is once again important because if Xavier or Claire win it, Derek X is likely going up. I do want to see that if Tiffany or Hannah win the veto, if they actually play it, or if they do the smart thing for their game for now and keep Derek X in the game, and Tiffany has to say goodbye to Claire. But I don't know how Tiffany can do that without losing yet another jury vote. She's probably already lost Brittany. She wins the veto and she doesn't take down Claire, and Claire goes home. She possibly loses Claire's jury vote as well. But I do think Hannah and Tiffany know that Derek X needs to stick around at least a little while longer if anybody's ever going to take a shot at Xavier or Kylan. But if Xavier's on the block, will people think This is a chance to take out Xavier, or do they not realize that Xavier is in the best position in this game? For now, I think Xavier stays against anyone. I think there could be, if for some reason Derek X wins the veto and saves Claire, it's possible, but I feel like he would know, or they would make him think that Tiffany or Hannah would go up in Claire's place, and that would make Derek X not use the veto. But if that were to happen, I feel like Kylan would push for Ozza to be nominated, even though Sarah Beth would rather nominate Tiffany. But I do think Tiffany going up is probably the one person that maybe Xavier would be in trouble against on the block. I could also see a push for Ozza to stay, but I don't know if they could get a fourth vote. I really do feel like Derek F would vote out Xavier over Ozza with the way he's been feeling lately. But who knows? He's been so total team guy and total anti-woman, so who really knows if that's true? So Derek X is the planned target if he doesn't win veto, and if the noms don't stay the same. And Derek X kind of did do this to himself. He came in telling people he won the 100 BB bucks, and America saw Brittany go home for winning 100 BB bucks, and voted Derek X again. And it was with the show's shitty editing, trying to make Claire the great white hope, and hope that Derek X also takes out the cookout. But it's kind of backfired per usual with producer twists in this fucking house. And I just hate these twists as it is. Because I mean, if Xavier were to go home this week, having been nominated by a random will after the great game he is playing, there's just no strategy there. It's not like people strategized against him to get him on the block or anything, or even strategized him as a target. He just went up as a random will, and then he goes home. I mean, I have a hard time seeing him go home, but I'm just saying, this twist is fucking ridiculous. But yeah, that's where we stand. Kylan's running HOH again. Sarah Beth letting down all the idiots that hyped her up at the first half of the season. All the idiots that were like, yes, let's see Sarah Beth's fucking villain era. Oh my God, these stands. Big Brother fans never cease to amaze me on how wrong they can be. So even if whatever happens, I think Kylan runs her renom. That's what she's shown so far. Like, she started this HOH looking like maybe she was going to play her own game, even if her own game was also bad and she wanted to target fucking Alyssa. Now she can't because Alyssa's safe because she won the roulette thing. So yeah, Kylan running HOH again.